Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be recapping The Valley Season 2, Episode 8, and it's getting scary, so let's just jump right into it. So Janet and Brittany are at Brock and Sheena's house, and Jax, I guess, texted Janet and asked if she was okay, like asked how she was doing, and Janet was just kind of like, yeah, we're doing okay, proud of you for staying in there. This episode, I mean, I'm sure Jax, like, I know Jesse said that he's been talking to Jax, but like, it seems like Jax knows he's gonna be getting out of rehab soon, and so he's kind of starting to plant the seeds with all of his friends. Like, he FaceTimes Jason later. It just seems like he's kind of reminding everybody, like, hey, I'm here, and whatever they say about me, it's not true. See, I'm such a good guy. Even though I'm in a mental health facility, I text you and I ask you how you're doing. And I just gross. It literally, if I got a text message on my phone and the name Jax Taylor popped up, I would be scared for my life. So Sheena, Brittany, and Janet, and I think Jason is also there. They're all talking about Brittany's pool party. And I guess after the cameras left that party yesterday, Zach had a little outburst when somebody named Jared was mentioned.
At Brittany's shark party after filming ended, Sheena was talking to Zach.
That looks crazy.
I know, I just don't know.
Real.
I know.
I'm glad I didn't do it.
Good job.
She mentioned Jared, and Zach said some pretty horrible things. I can't even repeat what he said. Why don't you just say, like, he should go himself? Just feel a little bit nicer, not so wildly offensive.
Who the hell is Jared? For a second, they were talking about him. I hate when reality shows do this. Bravo does this sometimes. I hate when they bring up somebody like a third party who's not on the show, but the way that they talk about him, it makes it sound like you're supposed to know who this person is. They were talking about Jared so confidently, and there was no context given. There was no picture, nothing. So I was like, wait, am I supposed to know who Jared is? I Googled Jared the Valley. I have no idea who this person is. I don't think that he has ever been on the show. But apparently Zach thinks that Brittany is a bad friend because she's always picking Jared's side instead of his. So at the same time, Zach, Kristen, and Luke are together, and Zach says that he said Jared can go fuck himself. But Brittany heard something so much worse and came over and confronted him and was like, what did you just say? I think Zach said Jared can go kill himself. And yes, I do believe that he said that. I believe that Zach is a person who can get very heated. So I think that's what we're talking about. We kind of like dance around the topic for the entire episode. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think Zach said that Jared can go kill himself. And then Zach says that sometimes Brittany doesn't hear him or connect with him. And they show some pictures. He's like, you know, Brittany was my first friend when I moved out to LA. And I just feel like the friendship has changed a lot. Things are really different now. I just think, like, you know, when you've been friends with somebody for decades, I think they've been friends for literally like 20 years. Friendships change, and it just kind of feels like this one has maybe run its course. And at least to me, when I see Brittany and Zach interacting, I don't think Brittany is super interested in like a deep friendship with Zach anymore. I feel like she has so much going on in her own life. She has a kid. She has an abusive ex-husband. Like, I just don't think Brittany is really in a place where she could be having deep friendships with multiple people. And I think Zach is having a hard time accepting that. Back at Sheena's house, she's making enchiladas for everybody in this 90-degree weather. Imagine being at a pool party and the host is like, all right, the enchiladas are ready. Literally, it's 100 degrees. The sweat is dripping off your brow. Here's the thing. I love her for that, though. I love that Sheena's like, oh, I'm making my famous enchiladas recipe. I love that. That's great. Janet tells everybody what Kristen said about Jason taking off his wedding ring. And she's basically like, listen, if there's a husband in this group that's trying to cheat and failing, it's not mine. And Kristen, so here's the thing. I think that the way that Janet and Jason are kind of playing this is that, like, oh, Jason is such like a bumbling, like kind of awkward guy. Like, he could barely pick up one woman. You think he's like out at bars, like trolling, trying to like find someone to hook up with. That's kind of how they're playing it. And I guess if it were me, I would probably do something similar. I don't believe this rumor. At least how Jason is presenting himself on the show, he doesn't seem like the type. So it's like I'm kind of in Janet's camp. I do think it's just kind of a ridiculous rumor that was spread around. At the end of the day, I think Kristen is just spewing BS to try and distract from Danny, who is actually going out to bars and being shady. I mean, he literally like molested Jasmine and her girlfriend. And it's like, I don't know why Kristen has seemed to like imprinted on Danny and Mia, but I really just think she's just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks so she can try to get attention away from like Danny's obvious drinking problem. Sheena says that Jasmine was actually also invited to her house today and she didn't come because of Janet. And Janet and Jason are saying that initially they just laughed the rumor off, which I think is what they should have done. But then Janet told her mom, and her mom was really upset about it, so it made her like rethink how messed up it was. On the after show, Janet said that basically her mom was like, you know, it's really sad that one day your son is gonna see this, and your son is gonna, you know, see these rumors, and Jasmine was once such a good friend. And I guess I get it, but I do not think it's in Jason and Janet's best interest to make this into a bigger thing. It should be one of those things where they're like, this is such a silly rumor that I'm not even gonna acknowledge it, because by like going in with Jasmine and fighting with her on it and demanding an answer, you are kind of giving credence to the rumor, and you're giving her what she wants essentially. You're making her you're showing her that you're taking it seriously, and I just think they need to disengage. And then Janet gives this like completely rehearsed speech. She like goes off for probably a full 60 seconds, and then at the end she goes, Kristen came after my husband? Well, good luck. You have a target on your back, bitch. She totally rehearsed this. She knew that that was gonna be her moment. This is so like just all clearly orchestrated by Kristen, and I wish Jasmine wasn't involving herself with Kristen so much. Like, I get it, Jasmine likes Kristen, but I feel like she's so much better than her. Like, I don't think that Jasmine should be like aligning herself with Kristen. Kristen is just way too messy. Everybody the next day meets up for a beach day. It looks like a really cold beach day in LA too. One thing about LA, if you've never been here, a huge misconception is that we have nice beaches. We do not have nice beaches. If you've ever been on vacation, literally anywhere else, if you've ever been to the Middle East or the Mediterranean or Latin America or even like the East Coast, even like Florida, you would know that LA's beaches are not nice. It's usually cold. Like if it's not 100 degrees, you cannot go to the beach, because if it's not 100 degrees, you will be freezing. It's usually gloomy. The water is way too cold to swim in. Like I go in the summer because it's like, what else am I gonna do? But honestly, huge misconception about LA. Our beaches are not nice. They're dirty, glass everywhere, just not nice. Anyway, so Kristen says in the confessional that Sheena like called her and told her that Janet was talking shit about her. Hilarious. Literally so funny. And honestly, shame on Janet for trusting Sheena. Of course, Sheena's gonna call Kristen and spread her gossip. She lives for this shit. This is the only thing she has going on in her life right now. Just so funny that it took less than 24 hours for all of this to get back to Kristen. That's great. Jasmine says in the confessional that she doesn't owe Janet an apology because she's not the one who brought the rumor up to her. Because Kristen is the one who told Jasmine about this rumor. Yes. Oh, no. I think Jasmine told Kristen about this, but Kristen is the one who brought this up to Janet. Yes, that is what happened. And it's like Jasmine thinks that she doesn't owe them an apology because of that, but it's like, yes, you kind of do. You were spreading the rumor behind her back. You do owe her an apology. Brittany starts talking. She says she has a date after her beach day, and that's why she's all dressed up. It's really cute. Like, it makes me happy. She says she has a crush on someone, and she hasn't felt butterflies in a really long time. Good for her. Honestly, anything that takes her mind off of Jax. I will say, she definitely knows that Jax is gonna see this, and I feel like she knows that Jax is gonna give her hell for it, and she clearly doesn't care. And so I'm kind of torn between like, okay, is she trying to make Jax jealous, or is she just trying to hurt Jax's feelings? I hope it's the latter. I hope she's just trying to hurt his feelings. Because if she was saying this on camera to try and make Jax jealous, I feel like it would imply that like she still has feelings for him. And I really don't think she does, but She definitely, like, she knew what she was doing bringing this up on camera. She knows he's gonna see it. Janet brought a metal detector. Well, she would. She's so the type to bring a metal detector to the beach. And someone asks her why she brought it. And then somebody else goes, oh, maybe Jason took his ring off. Which is, like, funny. That would get a chuckle out of me. But, like, as soon as whoever, I don't know who said that. As soon as whoever said that, Jasmine and Kristen walk off. And they start, like, talking shit. Because for some reason, that comment, like, really upset them. But Brittany wants to play truth or dare, and Jasmine and Janet are like off in the corner being like, oh, like, you think I want to play truth or dare with these losers? Like, whoa, they're like really like talking shit. And I'm like, okay, it was just like a funny joke. I don't know. It felt like something that everyone should laugh at. It was just like a light-hearted joke. Honestly, the rest of this beach day, I have no idea why it escalated so much. I feel like it didn't need to escalate this much. Jasmine and Kristen spend basically the whole beach day just kind of closed off in a circle by themselves with Luke. And Jason is off in the corner with Janet, and he's like, okay, what do you want to do? Like, should we go up to them and say something? And Janet's like, well, it's not up to us to initiate a conversation. Jasmine's the one at fault. She should be the one to come up to us. But Jason wants to anyway, and so he pulls Jasmine for a chat. And so they start talking about the ring thing, and Jasmine says that she heard it several years ago. And Janet goes, how many years ago? And Jasmine snaps. She goes, don't interrupt me. And immediately it gets heated. And it just seemed like such a, I guess like knowing that Jasmine and Jason apparently were really, really good friends several years ago. I didn't really know this. I feel like I didn't really clock that, but they've apparently been really good friends for like 10 years. So Jasmine is like, oh yeah, I heard this rumor several years ago, and the fact that it was brought up sucks. And Jason rightfully is like, but you brought it up. And Jasmine is just refusing to take accountability. She refuses to be the one who says like, yeah, I brought it up and I shouldn't have. And it's like, I wish she would say that. But I think honestly, the issue is she hates Janet so much that she would rather die on this hill than just admit like, yeah, I was the one who brought it up. She's using all of this like third person language like, oh, it sucks that it was brought up. You brought it up. And I think if it was anybody else, I think if it was like, if she was in this fight with Brittany or Sheena or whoever, I think she wouldn't care. But I think the fact that she hates Janet so much, that's why she's refusing to take accountability. So then Janet tries to get involved, and Jasmine goes off on her. And here's the thing, I do think that this was like unwarranted. Again, I don't think it needed to escalate this much. But what she was saying to Janet, she goes, you give Karen energy and you're a vibe killer. Vibe killer is brutal. If somebody told me that, if I was in a fight with somebody and they were like, you're a vibe killer, Liz, that would cut so deep. That was so brutal. Such really an inspired insult. I've never heard anybody say that to somebody else. And then Jasmine starts storming off, and then Jason tries to kind of go after her, and they both just start yelling at each other.
We're done. We're done. It's not even about that. Jason, shut up. I didn't make up this. What happened? There's a lot of people.
This is the fakest, most stupid. I've looked out for you. I've looked out for you forever.
I'm not talking about
I've
you.
always
I'm
looked at you like a sister.
Right now.
You've broken my heart.
And then Jason says in the confessional that it's clear that Jasmine has despised Janet for a very long time. And he calls Jasmine two-faced, and he's like, well, she always talks shit about everybody to everybody else. And then Jasmine's in the confessional, and she's like, you know, Jason and I have always looked out for each other as the only black people in the group. And I was like, that's so, I don't know if stuff has been edited out on the Valley, but I truly did not get the sense that they were ever close friends like that. So I feel like that just gives this so much more context. I think at the end of the day, Jasmine just feels like Janet gets in the way of her friendship with Jason. So then as Janet and Jason are walking away, Jasmine goes, talk to your boys, not me. They're my family. They don't like you. So now she's just trying to hurt his feelings. She feels hurt and she's trying to hurt his feelings back. Okay, so then Jasmine says that at the party, so at the original party when she brought this up, it was Brittany's pool party. When she brought this up, when she brought the rumor about him taking his engagement ring off to Jason, he apparently said that makes sense. And we never like dive deeper into that because I don't think that was shown on the show. On the show, he just kind of laughed it off. But it's interesting that Jasmine is like, oh yeah, there was a rumor that you used to take your engagement ring off. And Jason goes, that makes sense. That's okay. It's like, I want to know more about that. At this point, they were just like kind of going back and forth so much that it was all jumbled and I was just so confused. And then she goes, Jason, I like you, but Janet just will not stop interrupting me, and Janet never lets you do anything by herself. I think she says that in the confessional, and it's like, yeah, that's true. Like, Janet has Jason whipped. It's like, I hate saying whipped is so, I feel like that's so like anti-feminist, but it's like, I don't know what else to say. Like, she's got that man on a leash. I'm sorry. It's really obvious. Like, she's the one who wears the pants in the relationship, and I feel like she just keeps him on a really tight leash. Janet just really needs to let Jason fight his own battles. Like, she shouldn't have even walked over to talk with Jason and Janet. Or Jason and Jasmine. She didn't need to be there. There was no reason for her to be there. This is a rumor about Jason taking off his wedding ring. Jasmine is the one who brought it up. There's no reason Janet needs to be there, but she's just like involving herself and being an instigator, and it's like, that's why people don't like you. So then the next day, Kristen, Nia, Zach, and Brittany all meet for breakfast, and Kristen asks if anyone wants water, and then she goes to Zach, she's like, oh right, you don't drink water. That is so, whenever I hear that about a person, it kind of darks me out. I don't like that. Is that like weird? Because I feel like we've all met this person, like somebody who literally only drinks like Diet Coke or like Crystal Light even. Remember back in the day, people used to only drink like water that was flavored with Crystal Light. Whenever I meet somebody like that, I'm like, just drink water. Like, why won't you do it? I don't know. That people like that are weird to me. Brittany tells everyone that her date after the beach went great, and I don't know who this guy is that she's talking about. It's not the guy that she was texting before Jax went to the mental health facility. He's a dad, and she met him at Jax's bar, while she was, I guess, like hosting a bachelor party. So that's good for her. Really glad it went well. It's like the bar is so low. She's like, it's just so nice that like somebody texts me good morning. And it's like, oh my God, somebody texted me good morning. Like, she deserves this. That poor woman, she's been through so much hell. And now that she's talking about this on the show, I'm sure Jax is gonna find some way to ruin it. So then Zach starts to initiate this conversation with Brittany. He tells Brittany that whenever Jax does or says something awful, Brittany kind of plays it off and tries to cover it up. And she even does the same thing with Janet, but she never has Zach's back when he makes a mistake. And he's like, I just feel like you hold me to a different standard. And then Kristen doesn't say this at the table, but in the confessional, she's like, I feel the same way. So she's just saying that Brittany's friendship with Janet gets in the way of their friendship, which is interesting because it feels like Jasmine feels the same way, that Jason's relationship with Janet gets in the way of their friendship. There's a common denominator here, but also it's like I said at the beginning, at the end of the day, I just don't think that Brittany is interested in having like a deep friendship with Zach anymore. And then, I mean, it's like not even really resolved. Brittany just kind of goes like, oh, you guys are my best friends, and I don't like Janet more than I like you. And then that's just kind of it, and the scene ends. This definitely doesn't feel over. I honestly feel like they maybe even need to have this conversation with like Janet there. Because I feel like Janet needs to realize that like, what is the word for this? She's a busybody or like whatever. Like she's just sticking her nose in places where it doesn't belong, and like, she just keeps it, like she keeps Jason on a tight leash, but who knows, maybe she keeps all of her friends on a tight leash too, you know what I mean? Nia and Danny get lymphatic massages. I've never had a lymphatic massage. This looks like hell. It looks awful. I've heard it makes you so snatched, but it looks so painful. And this place, wherever they are in the valley, it looks like a compound. It looks so gray and sinister. Danny at one point, like, they cross a wall of affirmations, and Danny like has Nia read them out loud. Just weird. They also, Danny darks me out too. Danny is he's a little like serial killer vibes. He kind of freaks me out. Nia tells Danny that she really wants more kids, and she doesn't want to wait too long because she's the one who has to carry the baby, and she wants to get a mommy makeover. God, here's the thing. So I've had plastic surgery. I've had a nose job. I haven't had anything else done, but I'm very like, I'm not anti-plastic surgery. I'm like pretty for it, like if you can afford it. But there's just something so sad about Nia saying like, oh, we have to hurry up and have this baby so I can finally get my body back and look good again. Like, That makes me sad. I feel like she has such extreme body dysmorphia, and I don't think anybody's ever said that to her. I don't think she's ever said that, like in a confessional or anything like that. But it feels like something that she needs to talk about with a therapist, because it's like, that's like sad. The fact that you're doing your family planning around like let's just do this as soon as possible so I can finally get my mommy makeover. You know what I mean? Because it's like, then what happens if you get the mommy makeover and you look in the mirror and you still don't like yourself? Now what? Janet and Jason are home with their baby. The baby is really cute. Their little baby son, he's so cute. He has the most adorable little face. He's playing in a little ball pit. Looks so fun. I was like, that looks so adorable. I can't wait to be in a little ball pit at home with my baby. Looked so cute. I'm sorry. These Bravo babies are all really cute. Cruz is really cute too. Brittany and Jax's son, they all make cute kids. Janet is crying because she's been sad the last few days, and she's like, oh, I feel like he can tell, like referring to her son. She's like, she even starts tearing up saying this. She's like, I've just been so sad, and like I feel like he can tell. Meanwhile, he's like, fine. I don't know. It's like, can he tell? Probably, but I don't know. He doesn't seem very bothered by it. Like, I feel like that's not something a kid really starts noticing until they're at least like 1 or 2. Like, I don't know. He seems fine to me. But I get it, like postpartum emotions go crazy. I get it. I'm not making fun of her for that. And then Jason, they're on the couch, and Jason goes, I have 5 missed calls from Jax. Petrifying. Immediate, my blood is chilled. It's freezing in my veins. He FaceTimes him. And Jax picks up the phone. Again, he's in front of a blank white wall. I don't think that he's in a mental health facility. I don't think he's in a mental health facility or a rehab. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. What kind of mental health facility or rehab just allows you to have unfettered access to your phone like this? It seems like he can just pick up his phone whenever he wants and send inappropriate text to Brittany and call all of his friends and talk to his manager. I just don't believe him. I think that he just like rented and like subletted an apartment for a month and has been hiding out. I feel like I need to see proof that he actually went somewhere. And then Jax starts doing his little act. Like I said before, he's getting out soon, so he wants to remind all of his friends that he exists, and he wants to show them all of the progress that he's made. He goes, I'm so tired of anger, and I'm tired of yelling. I pushed her away, and I didn't even see it. And I hate the way that Bravo like plays this sad music over this, like we're supposed to feel bad for him. I mean, do they actually think that we're falling for this? I don't know if you saw this, but apparently Jax was gonna go on a podcast tour this summer, and he had to cancel the whole tour because there was so much backlash about him going to these theaters that he just had to cancel the whole tour. Nobody's believing this. I don't know why Bravo seems to think that we do believe this. It's so pathetic. He sucks. He's basically just trying to manipulate his friends, and he's trying to manipulate the audience by crying. And also, he brings up his dead dad every single time that he's on camera. I'm sorry, but Karen Huger does this too. Anytime Karen Huger does something wrong or she's in trouble, when she had her DUI in the whole trial, her whole argument was like, my parents are dead, my parents are dead. You are not the only person in the world with dead parents. It does not excuse abusive behavior. And then he goes, I wish I was held more accountable. I wish Brittany would have left me a long time ago. So it's her fault? What are you trying to say? You're essentially saying like, oh, I wish Brittany would have done something sooner so then I could have gotten help faster. This is all Brittany's fault. Give me a break, dude. And Janet is falling for this bullshit. I'm sorry. Janet, she doesn't strike me as like the smartest tool in the shed. She's falling for all of this. And in the confessional, she's like, yeah, it's a step in the right direction. What is wrong with you? Are you an idiot? I mean, come on. Then Jason brings up the mortgage to Jax, and he's like, yeah, you know what would really help is if you got up to date on the mortgage. And then Jax is like, listen, I don't have enough money to pay it off by myself, but I have a very successful podcast. Brittany and I have a very successful podcast. In the after show, he says that they make about $1 million a year on the podcast, so divided by 2, it would be $500,000 each. And he goes, I talked to my manager, And we agreed that Brittany is gonna take all the proceeds from our podcast together until the mortgage gets paid off. Cut to the after show. Brittany says that never happened.
Yep, never did it. We had to split it all the way up until the podcast contract was up, and then I took over the contract completely, and now he's taking the longest time ever to sign over the RSS feed because it's worth a lot of money. And he is just holding it over my head, every little thing I do. Oh, if you don't let me see Cruz, if you don't let me spend time with you on Easter, I'm not gonna sign the RSS feed over. Like, literally holds it over my head.
Trash, just absolute garbage. I don't know. It's so crazy. Jax is so egotistical and he's such a narcissist that he thinks people are just gonna believe anything that he says. Like, he says these things, oh, I'm gonna give Brittany all this money to pay off the mortgage. I'm gonna give her full ownership of the podcast. And he just says it as if Brittany can't immediately go online and be like, no, he's lying. Like, he thinks that the audience is just gonna believe everything that he says. And then Jason goes, man, this is the best call that I've ever had for you. Maybe I'm just like a bad friend, or maybe I'm just too rational, but if I had a friend like Jax, I would drop them so fast. I'm so sorry. Like, if I had a friend like Jax who was like abusing his ex-wife, jeopardizing the housing of his autistic son, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to a mental health facility and try to get my stuff sorted out, I'd be like, great, you go do that. Feel free to delete my number. Sorry, like, does that make me crazy? Brittany is moving back into her old house, the one that she shares with Jax, the one where the mortgage isn't paid off, because Jax is moving into the condo next door to Schwartz. And this like sucks. She has to pay double because her rent, she still has the rental house and she already paid it off for 2.5 months. And then she gets there and her mom is there and she's like, okay, like, two can play at this game. I'm gonna get back at Jax. And she asks her mom to like grab her a stool, or she initially says like, oh mom, can you help me grab a ladder so I can cover up all these cameras and Jax can't watch. And then she can't find the ladder and she's like, oh my God, Jax hid the ladder from me so I couldn't do that. Petrifying. So then she has to stand on a stool and do it. Then she FaceTimes Jax's sister. I think her name is Jennifer or Jenny. I forgot that he even had a sister. I think that's something that maybe I should have known from like Vanderpump Rules, but I completely forgot. So then she's talking to Jenny and she's like, yeah, my wedding ring and my wedding bands are missing. And she's like, yeah, I can't find them anywhere. In the after show, Jax is claiming that they're in a safe, like in a safety deposit box or whatever, and Brittany knew that they were in a safety deposit box. I don't believe him. I'm sure he took them somewhere. Then a producer is like, oh, what is your plan? What are you gonna do with the rings? And he's like, well, I'm gonna put them in a trust for Cruz. Diamonds don't appreciate in value. Diamonds depreciate in value. So like, I don't know if I believe that. Like, by the time Cruz is 18 or in his 20s or whenever you're gonna give him this trust, those rings aren't gonna be that valuable. Just then, a producer comes over and she says she got a text from Jax that says, make sure you get that on film. I can hear everything. Childish behavior. That is so scary. It's like one of the darkest moments on this season so far. And Brittany is like, well, no, he's lying. He shouldn't be able to hear anything through the cameras. And then she's like, oh my God, do you think he bugged the house? And she's like trying to laugh it off, but this is so serious. This is so scary. And Jax's sister, I'm sorry, she seems like she literally doesn't care. Like, some people are awkward on reality TV. Maybe she just wasn't, maybe whatever she said was edited out or whatever. She seems like she doesn't care. I don't know. I feel like if I had a brother who was being abusive to his girlfriend, I personally would cut him off. And I would be, to the girlfriend, I would be like, you should leave. Like, you need to leave this man. And I'm not getting that energy from Jax's sister. I'm not getting the energy that she's super passionate about, like, Brittany leaving him. And then the sister, literally right after Brittany says that, Jax's sister is like, oh, hold on, Jax is calling me. And so then she hangs up to talk to him. And then she immediately calls back and says Jax is going to the hospital because his blood pressure is high. And Brittany's like, well, is he actually going or is he lying? And Jenny, the sister, is like, well, I can hear them driving. And it's because you covered up all the cameras. He has anxiety. This is what I'm talking about with the sister. It's like, you really had to tell Brittany, oh, it's because you covered up the camera. You know what I mean? I'm just not getting the sense that she's really on Brittany's side here. And And poor Brittany is like worried because at the end of the day, she's still like a Southern girl at heart. She's a Christian. She's going to try to be compassionate. And she's like, well, I don't want anything to happen to him. Like, just because we're going through a messy divorce, I don't want anything to happen to him. And it's like, Brittany, for the love of God, get smart. Get smart. He is so clearly lying to you. He is so clearly lying. And then at that moment, she gets an email from Jax that says he tried contacting the bank to pay off the mortgage, but they told him the house was in foreclosure, so he won't be paying anything, and Brittany is now responsible. And then he also reminds her that they share the podcast 50-50. And Brittany's like, well, Janet and Jason just told me that I'm gonna get the full revenue from the podcast. So it's like, Jax, you really think that Janet and Jason didn't talk to Brittany? What a scary, what a scumbag. Like, Jax is truly, if I was Brittany, I'd be like, I hope you're having a heart attack and you don't recover. You know what I mean? Like, if I got a call from Jax that was like, I'm on my way to the hospital, I'd be like, tough. And then I'd hang up the phone. But poor Brittany is way too compassionate. She's like, oh no, I don't want anything to happen to him. Why? Let something happen to him, girl. Honestly, that would solve all of your problems. And then Brittany starts crying and she's like, what did I do to deserve this? Meanwhile, her mom also, God just does not seem to give a shit. She is literally just kind of sitting there and she's like, oh my God. Like, she just doesn't care. Like, I need Brittany to surround herself with more, Brittany needs Lala here. You know what I mean? Brittany needs Lala here to be like, no, fuck Jax. Literally, who cares? Get your money, lawyer up. We need that energy because Shelly, her mom, and Jax's sister, they're not giving her what she needs right now. And that's where the episode ends. And in the next episode, in the preview, it looks like Jax leaves the mental health facility and Brittany hosts a party at her bar to celebrate the name change. She's changing it from Jax's to, I think, Brit's or Brittany's. And then it looks like at that party, Danny blacks out. So we're gonna get Dark Side Danny. I'm quaking in my boots. I'm scared. Here's my question. Because at this point, this situation with Brittany and Jax is so rapidly escalating. What do you think Bravo needs to do? Because I'm hearing some arguments online saying Bravo is disgusting for platforming this man. He's an abuser. He's very, very scary. This is how, cases like this tend to get more physical. Brittany and her son are seriously in danger. And I agree with all of that. And then I hear other people saying, maybe it is safer for Brittany to be on camera and to have all of this caught on camera, all of Jax's behavior. Because at the end of the day, all of this is evidence that can be used in court. Some people try to argue that it's not admissible, but I think with the Real Housewives of New Jersey star that went to prison, she was shown on Housewives counting cash, and they used one of those clips in court, and that was one of the ways that they caught her. And I think with Jen Shah, the way that she was caught, I think just somebody ratted her out, but they did watch the show and they were like, yeah, she does live such a lavish lifestyle. They took that into account. So I do think that all of this that's happening with Brittany on camera, this can be used in a court case. So that's the thing is do you think that it's safer for Brittany if Jax just was eliminated from the show and wasn't being recorded at all? Or do you think it's safer for Brittany if Jax was mic'd up and if all of these actions were recorded? I don't know. All I know is that I feel so bad for her. This is so dark, and I feel like she does not have the support system that she needs. Her mom just seemed so, again, maybe she just seems awkward on camera. I don't know. Her mom during that whole interaction, if I was a mom and my daughter was sitting there getting a scary text from her ex-husband that made her think that he bugged the house, I would flip my shit. I'd be like, what hospital is he going to? I'm on my way there. I'll meet him there. You know what I mean? And Shelly is not giving that. Shelly is not giving that energy. Same thing with Jax's sister. She's like, oh my God, yeah, it's crazy. She's just so stone-faced. I need Brittany to have friends who are gonna really push her to get out of the situation, get a restraining order against this man. What he's doing to you is not normal. It's not right. You don't have to like him. You don't have to hope that he doesn't get hurt. Who cares? Who cares about him? God, it just gets me so heated. It gets me so heated. That man is so despicable. He's really just one of the most despicable men on TV. In the after show, it's always him him, Jesse, and Schwartz, and they're the ones who do the after show together. And I'm like, God, like, dark trio. Just a really nightmare blunt rotation. I'll tell you that. Just a nightmare. Anyway, I'm going to be uploading my recap of part 2 of the Summer House Season 9 reunion. If you missed part 1, I uploaded that on the channel, I think last week, so go ahead and check that out. I'm also going to be recapping Love Island USA. I figured out how I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna just do week by week. I'm gonna run through some thoughts. So it won't be like a play-by-play, but I'm just gonna run through some thoughts, and then if you wanna see my like actual reactions to stuff that goes down like scene by scene, I'll have some shorts up and you can check the shorts section and see that. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.